And hello to the 14th and final day of the regular Night in the Woods Let's Play, and the final commentary track. Um, yeah, I don't think this game necessarily needed an epilogue chapter. That said, I mean, I'm glad it's there because it gets to, you know, allows you to kind of see through the end of the game and all that stuff. And yeah, here I'm going through all of the sketches that you find in the, you know, notebook, which is a whole lot of sketches. Uh, and now May has to deal with the fallout of, yeah, all the stuff that she wrote down. Uh-oh. And yes, Angus, it is definitely good to be alive. And returning to normalcy is also a very good thing. Um, and yeah, that's another reason why I think there's something going on, because, yeah, B just decides to not, uh, you know, open the store, which is kind of weird. You would think her dad would have something to say about that sort of thing, but well. And yeah, she's definitely a grandfather's kid. And for all the times May is like, no, I'm gonna be nicer for you, her first response in the final day is, I'm gonna eat you. Which, I mean, I guess she's a cat, so that makes sense. Yeah, this book here is a bit on the nose, as like, this is essentially just the game you just played, but at the same time, I mean, it's at the epilogue, and also it's something you have to repeatedly look at. So, yeah, I guess, you can get away with that sort of Easter egg type thing. Yeah, it's always nice to see May going back to her usual routines, and yeah, I think May does need to have some boundaries, because, with no boundaries, she does kind of go all over the place. And yeah, it would be nice that hopefully May actually, starts discussing what, she told Greg the night before to her folks, because if she opened up a bit more about that, I think, things in the household will be, better situated. I would like to imagine that, Candy and Stan Borowski would be understanding if their child was having serious mental issues, like stuff that the local Dr. Hank can't really take care of with a simple notebook. Well. And then, yeah, we get, Candy Borowski singing, which is very cute and awesome. And yeah, if you've watched any of my other Let's Plays, you can hear me butchering that song, because I don't know what the, tune is, and so I'm just making crap up, and also my singing voice sucks. So there's all that. Yeah, I like, Stan's response of like, no, I didn't do what I hoped to do. Well. And yeah, I mean, I'm not Stan's age. I guess I'm between May's and Stan's age at some point. But yeah, I can totally understand his lament about the local workplace. That is spooky indeed. But yeah, I think you have to see the place in, or the newspaper article in the library in order for him to accept the tooth. So. And yeah, I'd imagine that May would be totally up for a, rousing sort of angry picketing mob. But yeah, no Mr. Twigmeyer. And you get the final power line conversation here, which is May sees a new puppy, which is adorable. And then, yeah, you're walking up here, and if you drop down, Molly doesn't seem to care that you're up there. Ah, well. Yeah, Molly's now suddenly wondering if May knows what she's, more than she's letting on. Because, yeah, I'd imagine that there would be a whole lot of calls about people's spouses suddenly disappearing. Because there's about a dozen people who are currently at the bottom of a hole, which would be a bad thing. And I guess good to know that, pill caffeine is, a uretic. Well, I mean, I guess it always has been, even in soda form, but, well. But yeah, when I first played the game, I thought that the Chamber of Commerce was part of the cult, but nope, they're just regular folk doing their darndest, but maybe not particularly well. Pretty sure Penderson is not part of the cult because, with how much he's bent forward, it would be pretty easy to spot his silhouette, even through the cloaks. So, yeah, pretty sure he's still up and around and fine. Also, we saw him during Harfest, and pretty sure someone his age could not, snatch a teenager. And yes, we get the final conversation with the porch sitter, who at least is a little less aggressive against May, but you know, certainly has a point. She doesn't really belong on his porch. And yes, May, you should probably do your laundry, especially considering you wear the same clothes every single day. That probably is not the best idea. And yes, we got the final Dusk Star, which, since they seem to, at least according to Mr. Chazikov, come out every other night, yeah, leads me to believe that May's time unconscious was not a particularly long time. You know, like it wasn't weeks or months or anything like that. Well, definitely not months. But yeah, I'd say it'd be probably less than a day that she was in a coma. And yes, the great question about, you know, discovery. I guess, you know, rediscovery doesn't feel quite as epic as the initial one, but it's still too good to see what something or someone else has seen. And yeah, I don't know. Personally, Erskine feels kind of like a big letdown compared to a lot of other characters, as far as Dusk Stars, you know, and him being the last one feels just like, oh, okay, you're just sort of like a normal person, which I guess maybe is symbolic of something, but, you know, I suppose, if I'd have done it, I'd have made, Adina the final, Dusk Star or something like that, because it was a person that May seems to have history with and the like, but that's just me. And here I go directly to, you know, the church. And there is absolutely no one in there, because, yeah, Mom is taking the day off, and the pastor's outside. You can go to the library and sit down, but nothing happens. You just kind of sit down for a little bit, and until you hit A and disengage, so, I don't know. Maybe if I, you know, leave it for even longer, you know, maybe something with Granddad happens, but And yeah, I totally understand Pastor K's kind of feeling of hopelessness, trying to do the right thing, but unfortunately bureaucracy is a wheel that turns very slowly. And yes, poor May with her desire to help, but more in a insubstantial way rather than, you know, actually substantial way. But hey, we get to see the three weird teens again, which two of the three times you can see them, but the only other time you see them is during Bee's run. Or, actually no, it doesn't have to be Bee's run, it's just her time at the graveyard, which is a really kind of interesting yeah, I would say as far as the ghost hunting things, probably my favorite are both Greg's and Bee's. The only reason why I keep doing Angus's is because you know, it's cool that you're able to hang out with Angus, which is a person you're not allowed to any other given time. So that is indeed interesting. And at this point, you're going to see me do a jump cut to the other side of town because I forgot to go over here after I was done talking with May's father. Yeah, not the most optimal run, but hey, you know, that's the joys of editing, right? Right. And that's definitely one of the joys of doing post-play commentary, which is, you know, being able to edit and make things a bit more, somewhat professional, even though, you know, this has been anything but. But hey, we get to see more rabies, which is always awesome, and May gets a final comment on the town itself. And yeah, this, you know, kind of speech right here is also another great game-ending thing right here. Which is kind of fascinating. There's a lot of, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings. There's a lot of points where it's like, oh, this would be a good place for, you know, the story to end. And then it keeps going. Not as bad as, say, The Lord of the Rings was. And man, I should have cut all of this, but oh well. It is what it is. Yeah, it's less than a minute anyway, even though that hill just feels like it takes so much longer to get up. And then down into Possum Springs Station, where you get to see more people around here, like the tunnel fisherman, who's well, I mean, he's not trying to be a terrible person, but yeah. And yeah, we see the absence of Miss Rosa again. Yeah, I do like the music that the two people seem to be playing. I could totally sit down and listen to that. So yeah, teen, watch it. Yeah, I don't think May will ever be intimidating. But hey, at least she's made people friends, which is a good thing. And then up here we get the solution of another big mystery of the game. What happened to the dudes, as in the mural down in the, you know, tunnel. I'd imagine Lori would know a lot more about it, considering she was there at the church, but okay, whatever. I guess maybe that's a something they should have added a trigger to if, you know, Lori had attended the church scene. And yeah, we get Lori, who is the one that ruined things just so that people might, actually look up and see that things are doing pretty horribly. Yeah. I think Lori probably is slowly destined to grow up to be someone like Mae Borowski, and I think she's probably might want to try her best to steer Lori into a better direction, but who knows. Even though now this is just tripping another anxiety attack. Poor Lori Myers. Hopefully she'll get better. No promises there, Mae. No promises. And then I go and recheck the place, and nothing new is there. But we get to see so many rats, crawling around the town, which is cool. Cool in the sense of the game. Real life, that would be terrible and terrifying. Yeah, there is a huge, divide between, what actually happens and how the game portrays it. And yeah, we get a bit more going on with the Telezoft and the wolf woman returning. Yeah, unfortunately, that's sort of the world we all live in. People having to work multiple long jobs just to barely afford to, keep things going. And then, yes, we've got the janitor, who seems to be the, great unseen force of good within the, game. I guess that makes sense. He's very much a blue-collar, down-to-earth type folk, so, yeah, I guess he would represent, the good in the world. And yes, we've got the two renditions of the Have You Seen the Giant Raccoon in the Square? You've got the big feral one that's running around in the background, and in the foreground you have the very pregnant raccoon woman who's pushing around a tram with an adorable little raccoon baby. She might want to try to invest in some birth control. Bob Janitor. What a great name. And then we get a bit more random folk in Possum Springs, which is, kind of nice to see. Yep. And there went my headset in the past. But yeah, I would say this has been a relatively complete run, although not a totally complete run of Night in the Woods. And then, yeah, here I just... It's kind of weird, there's actually no one here. You would think that, even the deer girl would be around. Oh well. But yes, they now have a taco place, which is something that the Weird Teens predicted as well. So I wonder if, and yes, that would be past me laughing. Bad past me. Why didn't you turn off your microphone? That would have been smart. Taco artisan, yes. Just like the sandwich artisans over at Subway. Yeah. Gotta look on the bright side of life. And yes, please please tip your delivery persons. That's usually most of their income anyway. And yeah, an all lettuce taco seems a little much. Heck, I wouldn't even want an all meat taco. That would just be, eh. Gotta have some variety in your diet. And then yeah, trying to talk to this person seems to be a little bit fiddly at times. Yeah, I'm not sure why they think people have to stand outside, but oh well. I mean, I guess if that's their thing. And May trying to make a friend, even though I doubt she's really a big football fan. I totally agree with her other response that she would be more of a hockey person, because, you know, there's a bit more blood. Yeah, cold winters. If I recall right, yeah, 2017 was certainly a very blustery winter up here in New England, so there was that. And then finally the fruits of May's labor of raising her rat friends, as well as checking out where she first saw the ghost, which you would think she would have, like, something to say about that. I mean, it's certainly an impactful part of this stage of her life, but oh well. And then, yeah, this just kind of goes as it does. Yeah, they're not very little at all. They are definitely big. They are definitely rats. And they've definitely infested the entire town. Ah, well. Have you seen the movie Willard? Yeah, it's kind of like that. But we've been to the food donkey, we've been to the town, limits and everything in between, except for one place. Yep, time to head to the Snack Falcon. I don't know, these days, being alive and well seems to be very much a surprise. Yeah, at least this game doesn't end with a final band practice. But, at least you get to, see more about the fallout of what happened. Yeah, that would be a little strange. Yeah, that is a little disconcerting, but oh well. I mean, he seems to be a good guy. Yeah, you never can tell. Yeah, that would be something very difficult to describe to someone, even if they knew what you were talking about. Yeah, that does seem like to be a fortnight ago. And nearly title drop. Surprised they didn't have Greg say Weird Autumn, considering, that song and the name of the expansion. Oh well. But yeah. Uh, this is also a very fascinating thing where uh, I do like in this version all of the stuff that you know, do going around the town and doing all of the um, sort of side quest type stuff. It actually is brought up at the end rather than just sort of ignored as just something you did. So, you feel rewarded for, being a bit of a completionist. Yeah, I would have been a little concerned initially too, Greg, but, the fact that May says, I'm trying to be a role model is certainly a good thing, I suppose. But yeah, so much stuff going on in May's poor, fractured mind. At least, hopefully, it'll start to, you know, get better. Hopefully. Probably not. But hey, that's why there isn't a sequel to this game. Yet, at least. But you rest assured, if there is a sequel made to this game, I'll probably be playing it. And I'll actually try to play some of the other games Finji has done on this channel, because that would certainly be fun. And yeah, I guess New Year would be a good way to reset everything. Hope Springs, Matt Rets multiply. Yeah, this is definitely the heavy part of this. Do you tell them? Do you not? Is it better to be ignorant, or is it better to have that sort of information? But, what can they do with that sort of information? You know, I've done both of these, you know, responses, and, you know, neither of them seem particularly good responses. But that would be reality for you. Yeah, I don't see that working out particularly well. Yeah, May needs to stop being a random third wheel in people's lives. Yeah, that was one hell of a night. Nothing at all. Oh, we are talking about that. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of need for therapy. Probably Pumpkinhead guy, unfortunately. But yeah, that would be Night in the Woods, the fourth run I've had on this game. Um, Still holds up. It's a well-paced, well-lengthed game. Yeah, certainly seems to come around still about 12 hours or so, which is it's a decent-sized game. I definitely know I'm not going to do like this game on top of other games again because I mean the 1 hour length per video is just a bit much. But you know, it feels good. It's a relatively new game, although at this point, well, I mean it's only a year and a half old or so. But, you know, it's all sorts of fun stuff. And we get to visit people who may not be the best people out there, but, you know, the ones that are trying are certainly good. And even the ones that are trying can maybe not be that great. But they're still people, even though they don't exist. They're just shapes and lines that someone else wrote. Yeah, that sequence kind of feels a bit meta, even though you're like feeling really, really, you know, sorry for May at the moment. But yeah, this isn't quite the end of Night in the Woods, even though I've completed it this much, because I haven't finished the game. Yeah. I still need to finish something in this game. And when we come back, we're gonna go and explore Demon Tower 4, Curse of the Blood Thief. Have a great one, everybody. And rest in peace, Casey. Rest in peace. Have a good one.